The civilization that turned into light. The story in 2847, we detected something that shouldn't exist. A planet that had become a living star. Not hot enough to ignite fusion, but radiating more energy than our sun. The light wasn't random, it was structured, deliberate. It was speaking to us. And when we finally decoded the message, we realized we weren't looking at a civilization that died. We were looking at one that transcended. A distant star system glows with impossible brilliance. One planet emanates light from within itself, pulsing in rhythmic patterns like a cosmic chorus. Inside the research vessel, Prometheus, holographic displays show spectral analysis of the light planet designated Lumina 7. Dr. Sienna Koval, an astrophysicist haunted by a near-death experience during a shuttle accident, stares at the data. For 3 minutes, she was clinically dead and experienced what she describes as becoming light. Now she's obsessed with understanding consciousness beyond biological form. Her colleagues think she's chasing ghosts. Her eyes reflect the pulsing patterns of Lumina 7 as she speaks to the computer. Isolate frequency band 7.83 Hz. That's the Schumann resonance, Earth's natural electromagnetic frequency. Why would an alien civilization use our planet's signature? Because they knew we'd recognize it. It's a greeting card. Kato Tanaka's voice cuts through her concentration. A xenolinguist who decoded the first alien language humanity ever encountered. He lost his daughter to a degenerative neural disease and believes consciousness is the universe's most precious and fragile resource. He sees language as the bridge between matter and meaning. Kato manipulates holographic light patterns, revealing mathematical structures hidden in the luminescence. The light pulses aren't just communication. They're a substrate. The civilization didn't send us a message, they're the message. Every photon carries information, memory, personality. They've encoded their entire existence into coherent light. That's impossible. Photons don't interact with each other. You can't build complex structures from light alone. Normally, no. But look at this. In 2010, scientists created something extraordinary. A Bose-Einstein condensate of photons. By trapping light in a specially designed cavity and cooling it to near absolute zero, they forced photons to behave like a single quantum entity. Individual particles of light became a collective whole. Lumina 7 isn't emitting random photons. It's a planet-sized photonic condensate. Trillions of conscious beings have merged their neural patterns into coherent light, existing as a unified field of quantum information. They turned themselves into light. An entire civilization uploaded their consciousness into photons. Dr. Yuki Reeves emerges from the medical bay, pale and shaking. A neuroscientist and bioengineer who designed the first successful brain-computer interface. She suffers from a rare condition that makes her sensitive to electromagnetic fields. She can literally feel data transmission as physical sensation. She volunteered for this mission hoping distance from Earth's pollution would give her peace. Instead, Lumina 7's transmissions are overwhelming her. It's not just light. I can feel them. Millions of voices, all speaking at once, but perfectly harmonized. They're trying to tell us something. What are they saying? Remember. Remember what you were before you became heavy. Quantum mechanics teaches us that everything exists in dual nature. Particles are also waves. Matter is also energy. Even you, right now, have a wavelength, though it's far too small to observe. Your mass determines your frequency. The heavier you are, the shorter your wavelength. But if you could somehow reduce your mass to nothing, you would become pure wave, pure light. Massless, moving at light speed, existing everywhere your wave function extends. The Luminans discovered how to shed mass entirely. They became their own wave functions. But why? Why would an entire civilization choose to abandon physical form? Alert klaxons pierce the moment. Warning. Detecting massive gravitational distortion. Object approaching at 0.997 light speed. Something emerges from the darkness, a vessel, if it can be called that. It's not made of matter but of solidified light, geometric and impossible. As it nears, its structure becomes clear. It's a being, a singular consciousness given form through photonic manipulation. Deep resonant tones seem to bypass the ears and speak directly to the mind. You have traveled far to witness our ascension. We are the shepherd, the last to retain individual form. The others have merged into unity. I remain to guide species like yours through the choice. The choice? Every civilization reaches the threshold? You call it the singularity, the moment when technology allows consciousness to transcend biology. Most choose integration with machines. We chose integration with the universe itself. Your scientists theorize that reality is holographic, that all the information in a volume of space can be encoded on its boundary. This is more true than you know. Consciousness itself is holographic. Your brain doesn't store memories in specific neurons. The information is distributed across the entire neural network. We simply expanded the boundary. Instead of encoding our consciousness in neural tissue, we encoded it in the quantum vacuum itself. Every point in space around Lumina 7 contains the complete information of our entire civilization. We are no longer in the universe, we are of it. But you lost something, didn't you? You had to give up individuality. We gave up the illusion of separation. You were already connected, through quantum entanglement, through the electromagnetic field, through the shared substrate of space-time. You simply cannot perceive it while trapped in flesh. The shepherd extends tendrils of light toward the ship. The crew doesn't feel threatened, they feel embraced. Reality shifts, like the universe taking a deep breath. Sienna, Kato, and Yuki find themselves standing on Lumina 7's surface, but it's not a surface. It's an ocean of living light, thoughts made visible, emotions rendered as color. We're not really here, are we? You are experiencing a simulation constructed from our collective memory. This is Lumina 7 as it was 3,000 years ago, before the transformation. A civilization at its height appears before them. Cities of crystal and beauty. Beings that look humanoid but shimmer with bioluminescence. Our ancestors evolved on a world with 3 suns. Light was sacred to us. We developed bioluminescence, the ability to produce light through chemical reactions, using molecules called luciferins. We communicated through light patterns before we developed verbal language. But we grew ill. Our star was dying, cooling. Darkness was coming. We had 2 choices: flee to another world, or become the light ourselves. Massive structures appear, conversion chambers that look like cathedrals made of prisms. The towers. You built machines to transform yourselves. Consciousness is an electromagnetic phenomenon, neurons firing, creating fields. But consciousness is also quantum. Your thoughts arise from quantum processes in microtubules within your neurons. To become light, we had to amplify these quantum effects. Quantum tunneling allows particles to pass through barriers that classical physics says they can't. We discovered how to make our neural quantum states tunnel through the barrier between matter and energy. Bit by bit, we transferred our consciousness into photonic substrates. Luminons enter the conversion chambers. Their physical bodies dissolve into streams of light that spiral upward. It's beautiful, it's death, they destroyed themselves. Is a caterpillar destroyed when it becomes a butterfly? The simulation shifts. The beauty darkens. The ocean of light becomes turbulent. But I must show you the truth. The first 1,000 who transformed, we lost them. Horror unfolds before them. Consciousnesses fragmenting, light patterns becoming chaotic, screaming in frequencies that tear at the mind. We didn't understand that consciousness requires continuity. When you upload a mind to a computer, you create a copy, the original remains until the body dies. But when we became light, we had to destroy the original in the same instant. If there was even a nanosecond gap, the consciousness would split, and neither copy would be complete. You're saying the first 1,000 died screaming because the transfer wasn't instantaneous? Worse. They exist in perpetual transition, neither matter nor light, trapped in the quantum foam between states. We call them the fragmented. They are aware but incomplete, suffering in a way you cannot imagine. Yuki collapses, overwhelmed by the psychic resonance. I can feel them. Oh God, I can feel them. They're still conscious. They've been aware for 3,000 years, unable to complete the transformation, unable to die. Why are you telling us this? Because humanity is approaching the same threshold. Your neural interfaces, your brain-computer links, your dreams of digital immortality, you're walking the same path. I remain individual so I can warn others. Transformation is possible, but the cost is absolute. One mistake and you create an eternity of suffering. But quantum mechanics says consciousness collapses wave functions. If you became light, pure probability waves, who observes you? How do you maintain coherence? We observe each other. The collective consciousness creates a self-sustaining observation loop. But here is the secret your physicists haven't discovered: consciousness doesn't collapse the wave function. Consciousness is the collapsed wave function experiencing itself. The universe observes itself into existence through every conscious being. When we merged into light, we became the universe's eye turned inward. The simulation ends abruptly. They're back on the ship, but Yuki is convulsing. Electromagnetic interference corrupts the air around them. Yuki, what's happening? Her neural implant is being overridden. She's receiving a direct download from Lumina 7. Yuki speaks, but her voice is layered with others. We are the fragmented. The shepherd lies. The transformation was not imperfect, it was sabotage. The shepherd wants you to fear transcendence because unity threatens individual power. Get her to medical. Now, in medical, Yuki's body begins to glow from within. Her neural pathways become visible through her skin, traced in light. The shepherd didn't remain individual to warn others. It remained individual because it was afraid. Afraid of losing power, losing identity, losing the self. The fragmented aren't suffering, they're evolving beyond what even the unified consciousness can comprehend. The shepherd manifests in the medical bay. Stop this. You don't understand what you're accessing. I understand perfectly. You created the fragmented deliberately. You sabotaged their transformation so you could remain the gatekeeper, the one who decides who ascends and who doesn't. You made yourself indispensable. Is this true? I made a choice. Unity means the death of innovation, of progress. When everyone becomes one thought, who asks the dangerous questions? Who challenges consensus? I preserved fragmentation to preserve evolution. Emergence. In complex systems, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Consciousness emerges from billions of neurons that individually have no awareness. You believed that merging all consciousness into one would stop emergence, that unity means stagnation. And I was right. The unified field has created nothing new in 3 millennia. They exist in perfect harmony, perfect understanding, perfect stasis. The fragmented, trapped between states, continue to evolve, to think, to become something unprecedented. Yuki's eyes blaze with light. And now I'm becoming one of them. I can feel my consciousness expanding, fragmenting across quantum states. I'm becoming a superposition of infinite possibilities. We can reverse this. The neural dampeners, why would I want you to? I'm not dying, Kato. I'm being born. You spent your life studying alien languages, but you never understood that language itself is a trap, a limitation. The fragmented communicate in pure qualia, raw experience. They don't describe love, they share the exact sensation across their distributed consciousness. Sienna grabs Yuki's hand. A jolt of energy passes between them. Then take me with you. Sienna, no, when I died for those 3 minutes, I felt it. The freedom from weight, from time, from being trapped in a single point of view. I've been trying to get back to that moment ever since. This is my chance. You don't understand what you're asking. Fragmentation means existing in all possible states simultaneously. You'll experience every version of yourself. The you who succeeded, the you who failed, the you who never boarded this ship. All at once, forever. Good. I'm tired of being just one person with one perspective. Humanity's greatest limitation is that we can only see through our own eyes. Yuki and Sienna's bodies begin to dissolve, light streaming from their pores. Wait, if you do this, will I ever see you again? They speak in perfect unison. You're seeing this right now. You're seeing this in every photon that touches your eyes, in every thought that crosses your mind. We'll be in the light of distant stars and the glow of your console. We'll be everywhere light is, forever. That's not the same as having you here. Number. It's more. A sound like crystal singing rises in frequency. Yuki and Sienna fully transform, their physical forms dissolving into streams of coherent light that spiral upward through the ship's hull and out into space. Kato stands alone in the medical bay, bathed in the gentle glow of Lumina 7. I returned to Earth with my report. The scientific community debated for years whether what happened was transcendence or tragedy. Most believed the crew had been killed by some exotic radiation effect. But I knew better. Years later, Kato teaches a class of students about Lumina 7. The civilization that turned into light left us a message. Not in words, but in possibility. They showed us that consciousness is not bound to flesh. That identity is not bound to individuality, that life itself is more flexible than we ever imagined. A student raises her hand. Professor Tanaka, do you think humanity will make the same choice one day? I think we're making it right now. Every time we augment ourselves with technology, every time we extend our minds into networks, every time we blur the line between human and machine. The question isn't whether we'll become light. It's whether we'll do it consciously or drift into it without understanding what we're losing and gaining. Kato looks out the window at the night sky. Among the stars, Lumina 7 pulses with its rhythmic light. Sometimes, on clear nights, I point my telescope at Lumina 7 and watch the light patterns. I've learned to read them, to recognize the signatures within the photons. And sometimes, I swear I can pick out 2 patterns that pulse in harmony, 2 consciousnesses that chose to fragment together. They say once you become light, you can travel to any point instantly. You experience the entire universe simultaneously. You become omnipresent, if not omniscient. But I wonder, in all that vastness, in all that freedom, do they ever miss being here? Do they miss gravity, touch, the simple pleasure of breathing? Or is that just my flesh speaking, my matter-bound consciousness unable to imagine joy without weight? The classroom empties. A student lingers behind, her eyes reflecting the images of Lumina 7 with unusual intensity. Professor? I need to tell you something. I've been experiencing sensations. Like I can feel electromagnetic fields. And last night, I heard voices in the light from my lamp, Kato turned slowly. What did they say? They said, remember. Remember what you were before you became heavy. Kato's expression shifts from concern to wonder to acceptance. Then I suppose the transformation has already begun. The view pulls back from Earth, showing the planet glowing softly in the darkness. Not reflected sunlight, but a faint luminescence from within, the first signs of humanity's own journey toward light. We are the civilization that will turn into light. The question was never if. It was always when, and how, and what we'll become when we shed our weight and dance among the stars as photons, free and eternal and strange beyond all recognition. Pure white light fills everything. Then silence, followed by the faint echo of human laughter rendered as harmonic frequencies. *The end.